all the pregnant women.
जी.
So, are you doing it, getting the sample from your human beings or some other animals?
In my department, we only do human beings, but there are other groups in Australia and other countries that focus on sheep in particular and try and use those as a comparison.
So, if it is human being, then you have to do it on daily basis, on weekly basis, or what?
If we use ultrasound, then you can use that on a weekly basis. But we use MRI, which is magnetic resonance imaging, and that's a much larger machine. And to put the mothers inside the machine, the mothers start to feel a bit uncomfortable. So we have ethical approval.
Because as if you have put the person in a tunnel or in a grave. Yes.
So at the moment
I have passed through this twice, so I know.
Me too. We try to take more care of the mothers than they do of particularly men, and we leave their head on the outside so they don't feel too claustrophobic. But we can scan them up to 6 times during the course of their pregnancy, not more than that at the moment.
Achha. So how do you know the different stages during changes? Because sometimes the changes happen on daily basis.
That's right. Well, this is the problem of sampling, that how often we can take the pictures. At the moment, when they use histology, so where they have the specimens, then they have done in a lot of detail that on a daily basis how the brain changes, and also with ultrasound. But with MRI, because we sample so infrequently, maybe once a month or every few months, then we can just try and compare that compared to the histological samples, that is it the same or is it different? But we don't have the luxury of being able to check on a daily basis at the moment.
That you consider luxury?
For the MRI department, yes.
But government is providing enough fund for this? NHS, it is under an NHS or no?
We are under a medical research council, but because our department is one of the leading in the world, then we have a lot of funds available.
So from other donor countries, or from the WHO or what?
No, the MRC is a UK government body which provides the funding.
Does the WHO provide funding for research?
Not to our department. But
no, anyway.
I think in other.
Or they are only providing medicine and healthcare and simple.
So they do to developing countries, usually public health research they do fund, and infections and plus the swine flu, so they are funding some drugs for countries.
But not in research.
In research they
take microphone, Mike.
Because I have worked in Pakistan on a WHO project, so they do fund some clinical trials, public health, and.
But this swine flu is just new thing.
Yes, it's totally new. So they do fund clinical trials in the developing countries. So I don't know if they are funding the swine flu research or not.
No, but they have already announced that it is a normal type of flu. The strain is just normal, so you can treat it with the normal medication.
Ji Huzur, the panic has been overblown. It's not that.
That fatal.
Yes.
Ji
Huzur.
Sure. Sure. So who else is doing PhD? Tasdeeq Sahib, what is your subject? What is your research topic?
Huzur, I'm studying the genetics of heart disease and stroke.
Acha.
Ji.
Genetic of heart disease and stroke. Those who suffer, are you trying to prove that it is genetical ailment or what, sickness or what?
So the genetic element is very small in these diseases. I'm studying different genes which may affect the disease. So,
Achha.
we're looking at different genes. So I'm specifically looking at one gene.
That is the cause.
That is caused in some people. It increases the risk, but it cannot be called the cause.
And you're trying to prove it, the significant effect of this?
Ji, Huzur.
But formerly doctor used to say, or researcher, that it is because of lack of exercise, taking of too much fatty things.
Huzur, that is true. The risk factors which are environmental, like lack of exercise and unhealthy diet. That is the main cause, and I'm looking at genes which can explain.
Which you call it junk food. Acha. So now you are trying to prove that these McDonald's and Kentucky's have funded you to prove that it is not because of the food, but it's a genetic factor.
Huzur, actually, the gene I'm studying is one which increases the risk of these fatty foods or the fats that go into the body. So in a sense, it is against the McDonald's.
It enhances the activity of this gene. This gene's activity is enhanced by these fatty things. So this you are going to prove.
Yes, it increases the risk of cholesterol.
Cholesterol, yes. ठीक है. और कौन कर रहा है PhD? You are doing in mathematics?
Huzur, my PhD is in theoretical neuroscience.
Theoretical neuroscience?
Ji.
So what is that theoretical neuroscience?
My particular research, Huzur, is about understanding how electric fields can interact with neurons.
What you were doing MSc in pure science, no?
Huzur, I did a master's, my bachelor's and master's was in physics. But then I went into, my PhD area is interdisciplinary between biology and physics. So
then you switched over totally?
Huzur. I still do a lot of physics.
How did you cope with your deficiency in biological sciences?
Huzur, I took the PhD program, which I'm a part of, is 4-year program.
So
first year of which
you did some deficiency courses?
Huzur. I did another master's in interdisciplinary science before going into this. So in neuroscience, there are quite a lot of physicists now coming in because there is a need for sort of analytical understanding of how the brain works. It's very complicated, very complex. So it's a developing field now. A lot of physicists and mathematicians are coming in, and computer scientists.
So you cannot change your field again. You are now involved in research and you will remain in research forever.
That is intention, and I want
you cannot, there's no way.
That is certainly my intention, but I want to request prayers that may Allah Ta'ala help me do a very good PhD and make me do well in research as well as the other students here. So my intention is to stay in research, Huzur.
Yes. As for doctors, because whenever they see they are not getting enough money, they can switch over to other field, but not you.
Assalamu alaikum, Huzur. My name is Kamar Sultan and I am doing PhD in nanotechnology. My basic subject is physics and now I am doing electronic engineering and physics. But my specific field is carbon nanotubes. These are very small in size, just like 10,000 times smaller than a human hair. We are growing these nanotubes. We are synthesized in very high temperature. Scientists are growing these, trying to growing these nanotubes at a low temperature for the different application. They have a lot of applications in medicine and also in electronic devices and in mechanical engineering and all others. sites. And my